For every piping technique on the practice board sheets, there will be a little icon telling you how to position your bag. For the stars, you're going to hold your bag perpendicular to the surface. You're going to squeeze using steady pressure, totally release pressure, and then pull the bag away. The key is to remember to completely release pressure off the bag before you pull the tip away. The practice board sheet also tells you which tip to use, and as long as you use the tip that they tell you to use, then the pictures on the practice board should be true to life, meaning that's your actual template, that's how big your stars are going to be. For this one, it tells me to use a tip number 16, and that's what I'm using. To do a star border, you would just do a row of stars, and then if you want to do the star fill-in, then you just do a cluster of stars. The star fill-in technique is what you use when you do the character cakes. And then here I'll just show you again at a slightly different angle. You want to make sure that your tip is at a 90-degree angle to the surface. In this case, it's the practice board, but if we were piping stars on a cake, we would want our tip to be perpendicular to the cake. You want to squeeze using steady pressure and then totally release pressure before you pull the tip away. You don't want to have the tip against the surface. You want to have the tip just slightly above the surface. And if you don't release pressure, then your star will have a pimple. Zigzags are a little bit different. Again, we're going to use a tip number 16, but we're going to hold the bag at a 45-degree angle to the surface. And we're going to use steady pressure and just make a zigzag motion. Again, you want to make sure you keep your wrists straight when you're decorating and move your whole arm. This is really an exercise in pressure control, because if you don't use steady pressure while you're making the zigzag motion, then your zigzags will not be even, and that's kind of what we're going for. Again, we want to make sure that the tip is at a 45-degree angle to the surface, and notice how I keep my wrist straight and I'm moving my whole arm to make the zigzag motion. This will help me keep a steady pressure control so that my zigzag is consistent.